Okay, everybody, we are going to talk about book club discussions. We're getting ready to start up book clubs. You guys all have your books. But when we talk together, we have to make sure that we conduct the conversation in a certain way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How we're going to structure that conversation. So when we share our ideas in book clubs, you guys know this because we did some of this last year, we take turns talking, right? One person says something and the other person responds, and we take turns. Our goal is to have everyone take part in this discussion and to contribute their ideas. It's really important that everybody has a say. Because if we let one person dominate, this is the idea that everybody else gets. No one's ideas are any more important than somebody else's. So if you tend to talk a lot during those discussions, I want you to challenge yourself to pull back a little bit and let other people speak more than you do, especially the quiet people, okay? We'll talk more about that specific part later on. So taking turns means one person explains a thought that they had about the book, and then someone else responds, okay? And that's the turn taking. So someone might say something.
Please do not send anything to the office photocopier. I am printing labels. Thank you.
Thank you. This is what happens when you try to do a video in one take. You get interrupted. Okay. So one person says something, and then that another person gets the chance to react to that comment that the first person made, okay? So how will we do this? We have to make sure that we do it in a respectful way, right? Sometimes I hear people making fun of somebody's comment. That's not going to happen. We are going to respect everybody's thoughts. Your thought is your thought. And a lot of people will take offense to the fact that somebody doesn't like their thought. It's like they take it like they don't like me. Now that's not true, but we have to be respectful of other people's thoughts, especially when it has to do with their feelings or something they believe in. So we need to be respectful. So what are the ways that we can respond? We can agree with somebody. That happens a lot because I remember back to some of the conversations that you guys have had, and you get all passionate about it. Yes, I agree with that, right? We can add on to someone's thought. We can say, yes, and I thought about this also. This disagreeing is where some of the disrespect comes in, or the perceived disrespect. When you disagree with somebody, you should formulate what you say in such a way that that person doesn't take offense to it. And I'll show you more about that in a few minutes. Somebody might not understand what that first person is talking about, and they have to ask for clarification, or they need to get additional information. And that is a real important part of that conversation, to make sure that we understand so that we can respond. And the last one, you might need to find some evidence from the book to support what you said or what somebody else said. Somebody might say, oh, he was a doctor. And then somebody says, no, that character wasn't a doctor, they were a lawyer. And then somebody says, well, wait a second. I I have a spot, I've marked a spot in my book, and I'll read it to you. And then that person can give evidence to support whichever person had the fact correct in the first place. So, you guys are gonna take some notes on these. And we're gonna do two today, two ways. We're gonna do the agree and the disagree. So I would like you to get the note paper out, and you are going to take notes from the slides that I show you. Now, I'm not gonna stay on the slide long enough for you to take the notes, so you are going to have to push pause so that you have time to write down all 5 parts on your paper. So remember that. So, the agree. When I agree with you, I can say, you are going to be saying these 5 things. So I would like you to write these down. The first one, I agree with blank, and that would be a person's name. But I have to add this. So you're agreeing, but you're also adding too. I feel a lot like blank, Sally, for instance, she's a good one. I feel a lot like Sally does because, and then that person would go on to explain. My opinion matches what Tommy said because of this fact. What Sally said makes sense because blank. And another reason I agree with Sally is because of this. So I want you to pause the video, take notes, and then hit play again when you're ready to continue. Okay, now let's go on to the disagree part. This is the second one. Again, continue to take notes. When I disagree with you, I can say, I understand what blank said, Sally said, but I think this. I see it differently because of this reason. Do you see how they're disagreeing, but they're still being very polite about it? That part is really, really important, and that's the whole respect thing that I was talking about. The way you word it makes it sound polite, but also you sound very intelligent when you're doing it that way. I get what you're saying, but I think this. I see your point, but in my opinion, finish that sentence. I respectfully disagree with Sally because of this reason. Respectfully disagree, okay? So from this wording, the person that originally gave the idea, the first idea, is not going to feel like somebody is attacking them or attacking their idea. So we're going to practice these, okay? I want you to take a minute now, and I want you to pause it again and copy down all of these phrases on your paper. Okay. Let's talk about next week. When I come back, Monday and Tuesday, we will have testing. I know, you don't like it. In the fall and the spring, remember, we have to do 2 tests. It's the language usage test. It's shorter than the other one, so it's not going to be that bad. Anyway, we're going to be doing, there's 3 more of these. As you saw on that slide, there's clarifying information, adding on, and can't remember the other one. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week. Have a good weekend.